Welcome to the Solar Engineer. My name is Erling Roberts. Today we're going to talk about mounting solar panels on the roof. We'll use the Ironridge system. We'll cover various hardware that's required to get these solar panels mounted properly on the roof. We'll leave some of the electrical connections for a later video. Of course, first things first, you have to receive all the hardware and you have to figure out what stuff you need. All of that is really covered in prior videos. So at this video, we're going to really focus on mounting to the roof.
Once you know where you want to install your solar, make sure the roof is in good condition. This roof was not in good condition, and so I decided to change it. The first thing you'll put on your roof is this metal clamp, which is particular to the type of roof you have. In this case, we have a three-part piece, the left, the right, and the center. The left and the right are not equal to each other. This one is a little bit further back than this one, so you have to be careful to orient it in the correct direction. It largely comes built from the factory loosely, and then you just have to move the nut to the way you want it, or the bracket. The bracket in the center in this case needs to mount in this direction because of the type of system that I have. So I had to just move the nut and get it all this way. The nut, of course, is made of stainless steel. These have little rubber washers which are intended to protect the roof from leaks, and the system is rated for pretty strong thing. At this point, this isn't completely torqued down yet. Well, this is tight, but as I put the rest of the system on, it'll firm it all up. One nice thing about this system is that the angle that you want for installation is right here on the side with lines. So all this was done down where I have better control in the garage. The next thing to do is to put these standoff brackets. In my case, I've chosen to angle the solar panels to the roof. And so in this case, I have what's called the south bracket, which is the bottom, the lower one. This is angled at 20 degrees, and the rail will sit on here, slide through this. Got all the parts prepared down in the garage, brought them up in this bag. So it's not too complicated. We're grabbing a bag. The top is set up to hook the rail on. The bottom has got the stanchion, which goes at any angle that you want, and then I've pre-assembled the nut and washer on there, and I'll move those nut and washer to attach it. The key here is not to drop stuff off the roof, and that's the most complicated part. Alright. So we're just taking this stuff off. Again, getting the nut and washer off. There goes the washer right off the roof. And then we're just going to put this down in the hole. And then we're just going to put the washer back on. And then put the nut on. Not rocket science. But it is amazing technology. And then we're using the 9/16 wrench. We're not going to tighten this completely, but I just want to get it to hold the bar in roughly the right direction. And that involves tightening these two bits. It's approximate, but when I get the rail on, I'm going to have to shake stuff around just a little bit. There you go. That's finished. Here's something you haven't thought of. Mow the lawn. You're going to drop stuff off the roof. And if the grass is too tall, you'll never find it. I've got a washer and a nut to look for. And I could be a while. If you see something, let me know. The north side standoff is a little bit different than the south side standoff. The same concept applies. The carriage bolt at the bottom is identical. And then up at the top, the rail is going to hang on the bottom of this rather than on the top side. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. And I've angled this at approximately 20 degrees, but I'll measure it as I get further on into the roof. So we're getting there. Most of the rails are now put on, or most of the stanchions. I have one rail installed. I'm trying to work ahead so that if I've made any mistakes, I only have to undo a few things. So I've got these 3 left to do, and then we'll get the rails. Okay, so we're guiding the rail. We've got this square nut, and it fits into the rail. And then, excuse me for using 2 hands, it just goes in like that, and then the rail just pulls simply over to here. And we still got the other rail to do, so we'll just leave it loose for the moment. So to put a rail on, you slide the rail through each of these end points. The square nuts must start at the end. You can either slide the nuts onto the rail, or because I don't want to drop stuff off the roof, I'm sliding the rail. Nut, and then I'll go over there and guide that in, and then once they're in, I can tighten everything up. Okay, so we have all 4 rows of stanchions and rails put together. There are 2 grounds. I've elected the bottom 2. They say at least 1 rail per solar panel needs to be grounded. So I've got the bottoms grounded to each other, and then at one end I'll put a ground wire and then jumper that back in. But we are ready to test the panel and see if it fits. One aspect of the job I've not been looking forward to is getting the 42-pound panels up onto the roof. I got away. I'm doing it alone, but it's painful. So I've wrapped them in a rope, and I'll take the rope up above, pull from up top, and I've got 2 pieces of wood to kind of guide it up, and then the padding keeps me from scratching the roof or the panel. This is the Ironridge rail system. It comes in small, medium, and large. The installation on the rooftop is medium, and then this installation is large, but they're essentially the same system. The shape is engineered for strength, lightweight. On the back is for mounting the rail in some way, and then on the top, this slot is for mounting your solar panel with this bolt that's got a large head that comes down and clamps onto the solar panel. It's a really easy system, and then when you're in between solar panels, you clamp down on both panels by simply grabbing into that rail. So it's a very good, easy to use system. Okay, so I've chosen this system whereby each panel has an optimizer. The optimizer takes the energy being generated by that particular module and then turns it into a consistent energy, which allows the modules to contribute at different levels. What we want to do now is install one of these. Okay, so step 1 is open the little baggie and get the optimizer attacher, which goes into the rail. Each bag has 2, so we're just going to put the second one up here for later. We then need to get my wrench to tighten that down. So we're just tightening that down most of the way. Attempting to tighten it down most of the way. It slips into the rail, so it's just got this little diamond head that rotates and locks into the rail. So when you rotate backwards, it just undoes it, and it's loose all the way until it's completely tight. So I'm not saying this stuff's a pain in the neck, but I'm kind of saying it's a pain in the neck. All right, this just slides over it and then goes into position. We like to keep it 90 degrees. And now I'm just going to tighten that and then come back. Okay, so here it is all finished. And what I'm doing is I'm just doing one of these at a time, and then I'm pulling my rope and doing one panel at a time. Okay, that didn't take long. Now, next thing to do is we've got 4 wires. They're pretty simple. 2 of them go to the solar panel, and then 2 of them go to the loop. So we've got the loop here. The loop has this connector, so I want to grab the other one. So there's the other one. And then it's pretty simple stuff here. You can even do it one-handed. Click. Done. So that's connected it to my circuit. This one will then go on for the next circuit. And then I've got these 2 under here to deal with, and those plug in right there, and so I'll do that. So I've now installed all 16 of the roof panels. They are pointing at south latitude, so we're located at 39 degrees north, and these are, well, actually they're at about a 37-degree angle from the ground.
So this is the roof mounted system. It's the easiest of the 3 systems because most everything you need comes from the Ironridge manufacturer and installs fairly simply. The biggest threat is dropping things off the roof.